So we just got a new bumper for Chris's Jeep. We are still in Florida, but I'm driving back in this thing right here. And I have here D.Till. Shout out to you for making a dope bumper. I run it on my Jeep, so now we're gonna put it on Chris's.
Looking forward to the install.
Yeah, so let's go back to California and install this bumper. So huge shout out to D.Till for letting me pick up the bumper from him in Florida. Now we're gonna go ahead and install it on this Jeep. What do you think, Chris?
I gotta give D.Till a big thank you.
Yes, sir.
Really appreciate it for the budget build.
So yeah, we are gonna install a D.Till bumper on Chris's Jeep. So let's go ahead and get started with that. And remember guys, we do have a discount code for D.Till. It is BFCM2023, and you'll get free shipping if you order a bumper. So make sure to check that out. Don't miss out on the opportunity. We have the bumpers over here that we are painting right now. We're just letting it dry. And you guys know, I recommend this stuff all the time. The Rust-Oleum truck bed grade turbo. This thing covers a lot of area, so this stuff is really good, especially on the bumpers.
And shout out to my paint booth.
Yeah, this is the paint booth right here. So we are going to start with removing the bumper, which is pretty simple to do. You just have some 10s on the sides down here and then some clips on the bottom. And we also have to remove the grill, and then the bumper comes right off and we can get into cutting. So Chris didn't have the 10s on the side, but he did have just the grill holding it on. So it's a pretty simple removal. All right, so we got the bumper off. Next thing is we're gonna take off the header panel where the headlights are, this plastic piece here, because it'll make cutting it a lot easier. We're gonna have to trim the center section here. And then Chris, how are you gonna cut the sides? Like same as mine? Oh, the shape. Not with what? The way that I cut mine, it still has the stock location for the tab.
So I think I'm just gonna leave it alone until I get that custom shape fabbed up on the detail bumper.
Yeah, so on his, it is the stubby bumper. That's how I got mine. And then I got these tubes fabricated on just because I wanted a different look. So we're gonna do something similar with Chris. Probably a similar design as well, where that line goes straight across. But for now, we're just gonna leave the sides how it is. And then later on, once he does get the bumper finished, then we'll trim it. Yeah. And right now on Najar Offroad, you get free shipping on any item. And if you use the code BFCM2023, you also get 20% off on top of the order. And we do have some new merch items, so make sure to go check them out. We got some new shirts, we got some beanies, so it's all on the website. Don't miss out because this offer only lasts until December 1st. Anyways, back to the video. All right, so we got the headlights out. The header panel is loose. Chris, where were the bolts?
All right, well, there's supposed to be a bolt right here.
Oh, you have that broken tab right there.
Yeah.
You guys might have that broken as well.
There's one right here.
Okay.
They're all gonna be T25s.
Yeah.
There's one right here, one right here.
Okay. On the edge
One
here.
right here.
And then another broken tab here.
Tab up here.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. But you gotta make sure your clips aren't stuck.
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah, unclip the whole thing right here. And that is on both sides, so I'll let the pro clip master do it. Oh yeah, so now that's the air temp sensor, huh? And that is off. Chris had installed the transmission cooler, right? So this, we're gonna have to cut, move it out of the way, and then figure that out later. It's probably gonna go in the same slots right here. Then we have to remove this, move that out of the way, and then figure out a spot for that as well. After we remove those out of the way, we could just cut down the middle here on both sides, and we are getting rid of this piece. We do have to unbolt these. We have new arms for the latch, so let's get started on that. Be careful with the radiator and you should be fine.
all right, ready guys?
And don't be scared to cut this, because we are actually putting in the bumper, which is going to make it way stronger than this will ever be. So yeah, don't be worried about cutting this piece. It's honestly not that bad. All right, so Chris got a little too trigger happy. We went into the body right here a little bit. This doesn't matter because we're going to have to drill some holes right here for some bolts. So it'll be stronger. That's just for a lightweight, you know, for racing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we found this computer chair to be the best thing for installing the bumper. We used it on my Jeep as well. So with the computer chair, it'll lift so we could get in the perfect position. We're gonna mount it up to see where we want it, and afterwards we can install it. But I do want to show you guys something. So if you guys remember the video when I installed my Jeep, I had a little bit of trouble with the bolts. So now D.Till has actually fixed those issues. So these holes are now slotted out so they have movement up and down. It'll make it way easier to install, as well as these holes, you can see they're slotted as well. So that way you can actually move it back and forth. You'll have a little bit more adjustability with them. So let's go ahead and get it in place and mount it up. We need to put the bolts in on the bottom bracket to hold it in place. Since the holes, we're using the stock locations on the Jeep. And then afterwards we can mark the other holes on the inside. And I did forget, we do have to make these holes a little bit bigger. As you can see, the hole, this one is closer to the edge than that one. So that's the one that goes towards the front, like that. And now we can install the bumper. And while we are here, we do have the radiator support as well. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this piece off. I just did it on mine and I just cut it straight across here and it worked perfectly. So we're gonna do the same. We have this mounted up with the screw on the back. Since the radiator support uses these two, we left them loose. And these back here are holding it in place.
All right, and don't question my sketchy little radiator setup.
Yeah,
right?
don't worry about the radiator. So now we can put the radiator support as well and tighten everything up at once. All right, so we are screwing these in, and these slotted holes definitely made it way easier to install. I remember last time we were struggling to get the bolts on here on mine. So having the slotted holes, they actually do help. And now we have one in. I just got to put this one in, and we should be able to tighten it afterwards. And down here is where the stock bushing isolator thing for the radiator is at, and it fits right in the hole. So we are good to go. So now we can tighten it, and having these Capri tools right here with the angled end, it actually does help to tighten these. Before we were struggling on my Jeep, and with this one, it's actually a lot easier. Front one first, turn it. Okay, hold up. Go for it. We got the bumper on. Let's go. High five. Bam. So we do have it on now with the radiator support. What I just saw installed on my Jeep. I already had it, but never installed it. Chris is going all out for the first time.
Balling out.
I mean, all at once, not for the first time, but now we are able to drill out these holes and get those bolts in on both sides. This is where Chris kind of messed up a little bit, but we still have enough metal to grab onto that. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm ashamed. Hey, at least I didn't do that to yours. I did clean cuts on yours.
Yeah.
My Jeep,
It's fine.
I don't care about
It's
it.
a trail rig.
It's a trail rig.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and. What was that? So definitely having the slotted out holes made it a lot easier. Remember when we installed mine?
Well, it took like 5 hours when we did it.
Yeah, because you had to like get the holes right. So with these, it actually gives you a little bit of flexibility and a lot easier to install. I also have to put the brackets in for this piece here. Connects from these bolts to the holes down there. So gotta get that in as well, and then figure out a location for this. And we did make one mistake. We forgot to put the bolts in. Let me see. So these, they go in through the backside, and once it's bolted up, it's pretty hard to get it in unless you remove the radiator or remove the bumper. So we're gonna remove the bumper and slide these in before we tighten it. The bottom 6 bolts are tightened up. After that is when you should drill these, and we got them all drilled out. We got the bolts in here as well, so we are good to put those in, tighten them up, and then we'll put the straps on after. All right, so this has been a lot easier to install than my Jeep. I found a little hack too. Use the wrench through this hole, and you can get these side ones pretty easy. Like I said, this wrench actually came in clutch. It's a smaller one, but with the angled ends. So I was able to put my hand in here like this, and I was able to grab the nuts pretty easily. So definitely a huge improvement on installing this one versus installing mine with the slotted holes. So,
And if you do end up getting your frame, you can actually see lining up.
Yeah, you can actually see in there. So there's enough metal for that to be strong. So I'm not too worried about that gap, since this bumper is gonna reinforce the whole frame pretty much.
And then I'm pretty sure I'll just have the fabricator just.
Nah, it'll be fine. You won't even see that.
I'm gonna have him cover it up.
Yeah, you can't even see it on my Jeep. Look. No, you can. So we got my Jeep there. Now we got Chris's with the D.Till as well. And like we said, we're not done with it. We're gonna do something similar to my setup on Chris's Jeep. But for now, we do have the bumper installed. This thing's not going anywhere. And we also have the radiator support on the bottom. Our paint job wasn't the best because it was super windy today, but
Cold.
yeah, and cold. You won't be able to tell though. I mean, black on black, this thing looks mean. Let me know what you guys think about this bumper down below in the comment section. Let me know if you guys would run it. I really do like the radiator support. Like I said, I had it, but I never installed it on my Jeep. Now that it's on there, like that completes the look right there. It's gonna be super strong now. We have everything tightened up, everything's bolted into place. The grill, we actually cut the whole support on the back. You can see my hand here. And it's actually still in place really well. It's not going anywhere. So what do you think, Chris? Do you like the bumper?
I love the bumper. It's actually very clean, easy setup.
And it was way easier to install this time, right?
Those slots, ooh, 6 hours.
No, more. It was
Oh,
more.
it was
We
2
were
days?
overnight. Yeah,
Okay, so
it was
2 days.
overnight. And we didn't even put on the radiator support. And this thing we did in what, like,
I think 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5 hours.
but there we go. Anyways, huge shout out to D.Till for letting me pick up this bumper for Chris. Now we both got D.Till bumpers. Now we got to do something for the rear though. We got to figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe another D.Till bumper later on. But anyways, that'll be it for today's video. Make sure to use the code down below on D.Till's website so you get a discount. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.